Hi everybody, I'm Manucha from Moms and Crafters, and I want to show you something really cool today that I designed for my daughter. So you might be looking at this, it's actually upside down, and saying, what on earth is that? So basically, these are flower templates, and in a few minutes I'm going to show you what beautiful flowers. You can use this for so many different crafts. So the story behind this is that my 5-year-old daughter got very into making snowflakes this past winter. She's always loved cutting things, and she discovered that you can fold the paper and cut it. And this is not the cool ones. This is just our tests. She got super duper excited, and I told her, you can make flowers like that too. And the weather was warming up and she still wanted to do it. So I told her we could do flowers. And I tried teaching her how to do it, how to fold the paper and how to cut a petal shape. And it was a little too confusing for her to remember where the center was and all that. So it stayed intact. So basically I made this sweet little template, and you can see I made all different petal shapes. I'm going to show you in a sec what we did with it, but these are the ones that my daughter cut out. She is 5. Once I showed her once, she was able to do it completely on her own, and she got better and better at it. As you can see, this was her first one. So I went ahead and expanded the template with different petal shapes, and you can see that I also did different sizes. These two actually come up very close in size, but I wanted you to have a slight difference. And this one is much larger, good for layering. So let's show you what we made with them. And then I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to do more of these. So there's a total of 8 templates. I did 3 out of the 8. I'm probably going to show you another 3 in this video of each style. So here we made a stemmed one. This is a very basic shape. I think that's the same one my daughter did. And you can see this, there's only a slight difference between these two, but the background one is bigger. We made a stem out of a chenille stem. You definitely could reinforce this if you want to with more, but I decided to leave it as is. And we made a little, is this called a stamen? I think it's called a stamen. Okay. Here you can see more open the different sizes of the flowers, and I wanted to show you how you can really use it in flat scrapbooking style crafts or just do it just for fun. And you can see that these two, we decorated the petals with paint markers. Of course you don't have to. You can print it on solid paper like I did, solid colored printer paper like I did. You can print it on white paper and watercolor the papers before you cut it out, after you cut it out. You can really go anywhere with this. It's just a baseline template that you can make so many different things with. The last one that I did, I actually really like this one. I only used 2 layers on this one, as you can see, and I did make an extra cut while it was still folded. It wasn't so easy, so this is good for more for bigger kids. I curled the leaves on some of them. These I curled the leaves on, also the other standing flowers. It's up to you. It definitely adds a little more dimension, but it's another step. And I stuck it on a stick, so this looks a little bit like a pinwheel, and you could put a few of these in a vase or something. These I colored with colored pencils, not too long. I just did a little bit of shading. I will drop links to all of the materials in the description of this video, a link to the template, and all that. So first I'm going to show you the basic process of cutting out your flowers. I'm going to show it to you on one because it's a little bit crazy for me to show it to you on all. And I'm not going to go through the whole decorating process for all of them. I'm just going to give you a general outline of how I assembled it each way. And you can just go ahead and come up with your own projects for these beautiful flowers. So first we're going to take a template, and I'm going to go with a relatively simple one, just because I don't want to overcomplicate things. You can do this with younger kids. If you want, you can pre-cut these, but you really don't need to. I think this is actually a great cutting practice activity because kids can, practice those scissor skills. You can see I cut into that one. It's not really going to matter. It's pretty forgiving, this craft. But again, if you think kids will be frustrated, definitely cut it out for them. The main rule is we're cutting on all the solid lines, and we're going to fold on the dashed lines. And again, my daughter needed to maybe be reminded once. I'm not sure. Okay, so we'll just cut this one out for now, and then I'll show you what to do. We're going to cut those out later. So now we are always keeping our folded lines outside, and we are folding this in half, or so that line, that solid line, you could tell because that one goes all the way across. That's what I told you. That one goes all the way across. It does help to have sharp folds, and you can use a bone folder if you'd like. My whole crafting area is such a mess now because I have the remains of all the things that I made out, and I didn't put anything away, and whatever. So let's zoom in here. All right, so here we are going to get that fold neater. And if you go like this, you'll have sharper folds. It'll be neater at the end, but it's totally fine if you don't want to provide a bone folder. It just costs a few bucks. It's not such a big deal. Now we're going to go across like that. Then we're going to fold that in half one more time, like that, and go like that, and go like that. So there we go. Now we have just our petal. So Now, really, this does work best with like sharp, fine scissors. And once again, if you're doing this with older kids, point out that that's where it starts. So they should really start cutting there. But for younger kids, it's okay if they don't cut out the whole petal. And again, you might just want to stick with like the simplest shape for younger kids because, you know, they're young. But yeah, this does work best with good sharp scissors. And if you're doing it with younger kids, just let it be what it is. So we're cutting this out, and you want to make sure to cut the whole edge. You can fix it later, and because you have the fold marks, you'll know where each layer is. But you can see I didn't really cut well enough there. I'm going to do a little bit better. I didn't fold it as well as I could have, and that did carry over later. But let's continue doing that. All right, so I trimmed off more edge, and it looks a little bit jagged, but it's going to come out great. Now for the big reveal. This is my favorite part of doing these types of crafts, of course, is opening it up and seeing the petal. There you go. And you don't even see the marks because the marks are on the back. So our next step is going to be to make the other two sizes. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, one step that I forgot to share is that if you are making a stemmed flower like this, you might want to put a hole in the middle. Now, you can poke it in afterwards, but one easy way to do it is to cut just a tiny little notch off the corner while it's still folded. And then you open it up. And there you go. You have a hole in the center. Now, any petals that are not properly separated, you can just cut. You can choose how much you want to shape it. But I did have to do some cutting correction on some of them, and that's fine. So there we go. And again, because I didn't do it on these, I can simply fold them up, cut that little notch, and open it again. And that one I did a little bit too big, but that's fine, as you can see. And this is the order of our flowers. Now, I think that for this one, I'm going to show it to you with just two. So I'm just going to use two for this one. And this one I'm going to color using paint markers. Again, this is optional, but it really lets kids add their own flavors. This is Ohuhu Nahuka markers. They are permanent acrylic markers. They are ready. They don't need pumping or priming. They're really a great option because they are also affordable, especially for kids' crafts, and they are fair to good quality. I'm not going to say they're as good as high-end markers because that just wouldn't be the truth, but they are a better mid-range marker. And you can't always, when you're doing this on colored paper, use scraps for testing colors. That's always good practice. I like how rich that yellow looks on this, so we're going to go with that. And we're going to go with the squiggly swirly design that I did on one of those because I really like how that came out, especially on this interesting shaped petal. I did that the wrong way, but that's fine. Nobody really cares. And this, we're going to go like this. Very cute. And on this one, I'm not going to bring in another color. I'll do blue. contrasting blue. And on this one, we're gonna do, ooh, this was uncapped. Oh well. We're gonna try to maintain that later. We'll see what happens. And here we go. This does not have a good contrast. This is why you might want to test them in advance. All right, we're going to use this lighter blue. So this line is an oopsie, but that's fine. White also shows up great on these papers. And if you find that it's not dark enough or bright enough, you could layer it. All right, how pretty. Now we are going to make the stem. You can bead as much of this as you like. Definitely some people will want to bead more just to, you know, add a little life to it. I'm actually going to do this one with a yellow center. And the way I do the center is, here I have pony beads. I have large size and smaller size ones. What I like to do is I like to put one, like bend the thing down a few inches, put one on the top, go like that to fold it down. And then we're going to string on both. Now, I'm not sure if the small ones will fit on both. On the other ones, I used big ones. Sorry, I used a thinner chenille stem. This one's a fluffier one, but fluffy is fun. And when you get to the other one, you just hold it together so that you can, when you get to the tail, so you can stick it on. And it's not going to work with that, so we're just going to use big ones for all of them. That's fine. I think I have enough. If not, we'll use fewer. We improvise. We adapt. We're flexible. All right, so there we go. We have 1, 2. Ideally, I have 3 over here. All right, now we're gonna stick on the flowers. And again, I made my other one a different way than I'm doing now. So as I mentioned, you can really experiment. This is very open-ended. You can definitely put out a few samples and then just a bunch of supplies for kids to do. If you want like a workshop style experience where kids can really make their own thing. You can, of course, mix and match the templates. So if you're doing that with kids, like I would recommend that you just pre-cut them and let them, you know, choose which ones. The other one I did curl up, the one that I made the stemmed flower. You can either do it with your hands, it's paper, it really does hold its shape, or you can take like a colored pencil or something like that. The thinner it is, the tighter the curl will be, obviously. And curl some up, curl some down. All right, and now on the bottom, because we really do want the stem to be green, you can wrap it with a chenille stem. Actually, before we get there, I'm going to show you how I did the leaf. Really, we just need 2 of these fluffies for 1 leaf. On the other one, I used 1. You're bending it in between 2 of the like expanded parts, and then sort of wrapping it over there. So you see, you could do a leaf. And we are going to put this leaf, I'm going to undo this, right below the flower. Again, you can do it different ways. You can wrap the edge of the stamen around, but because we're wrapping this, I did that on the other one, but because we're wrapping it, we don't need to wrap the edge of the stamen. And again, if you feel like this is too much, you can trim it with just a regular pair of scissors, nothing fancy. And here we go. And once again, you can wrap the stem, you can leave it yellow, you can partially wrap it, you can worry about it being tight enough, you can not worry about it being tight enough. You can let it show a little, you can not let it show a little bit, but we're gonna just wrap, wrap, wrap. And you can even bead a portion. So let's say we wanna add a fun little beaded touch. So we could take, let's say, green. I did not do this on the other one. Just stick on a few green beads. It'll save you some wrapping, but once again, this is just how to make this project open-ended and let kids explore and design their own craft. You could do brown if you want the stem to be brown. This is actually a very good trick if you want to trim the yellow and stop wrapping and just leave the rest green. It's a good way to hide that end. And those little bits of yellow that are sticking out, it's kind of like the sun's shining on the flower. It does not bother me when I'm painting a flower. I would include some yellows in the green stem. So from a purely artistic perspective, it doesn't really bother me. I didn't want it to be bright yellow. And this one has a much more solid stem than the other one. And now that we reach the end, we will just trim the yellow. And there we have a beautiful flower. Now the other ones are assembled in a very similar way. Over here, this is the same as this, sorry. On this one, like I said, we did an extra cut over there and we attached it with a brad pin, and then I literally just taped the back. A more permanent and secure fix would be hot glue, but that's cute also. And here, I literally just use glue dots. It's scrapbook friendly, card friendly, not secure. If you're doing wall art, you could actually make a huge collage of flowers out of this. That would be really cool, but I just wanted to show you a few on a paper. Anyway, if you enjoy fun, open-ended crafts like this for all ages, definitely make sure that you subscribe to my channel. I do have a unique focus on crafts that can easily be done in groups. So if you're a teacher or a craft instructor, you'll definitely want to subscribe. But even if you're just a creative family that likes crafting at home, follow along. I share things that are doable, usually functional. I share lots of templates. I share lots of jewelry making and beading and tween type crafts. So I hope you enjoyed.